Hello! Our topic for this lesson is Pronouns 3. You need just 8 minutes to complete this lesson. Let's go over to our lesson objective. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to 1. Identify the different types of pronouns. 2. Define and explain relative pronouns. 3. Define and explain reflexive pronouns. Let us go over to types of pronouns. Types of pronouns. We have different types of pronouns. 1. Personal pronouns. 2. Possessive pronouns. 3. Relative pronouns. 4. Reflexive pronouns. 5. Interrogative pronouns. 6. Demonstrative pronouns. 7. Reciprocal pronouns. 8. Indefinite pronouns. Note: the pronoun types with green check marks have been treated in our previous lesson. For today's lesson, we will focus on these two types of pronouns: relative pronouns and reflexive pronouns. Relative pronouns. Relative pronouns are pronouns you use to introduce some clauses which relate to a noun mentioned earlier. Functions of the relative pronouns. 1. They join two separate sentences together. Examples: first sentence, I saw Nonso and John. Second sentence, Nonso and John were playing on the field. Note: you can combine the two sentences and rewrite them as one sentence. The new sentence becomes: I saw Nonso and John who were playing on the field. Note that the relative pronoun who replaces the nouns Nonso and John. Who is a relative pronoun because it relates to the nouns Nonso and John mentioned earlier. Let's go over to the next function of a pronoun. Functions of relative pronouns. 2. They make it clear which person we are talking about. Examples: look at this image. I can say, the man is my brother. Note: this sentence is not clear because there are two men in the picture. There is a problem in the sentence because we don't know which of the men is the brother. So use a defining relative pronoun. The sentence becomes: the man who is standing is my brother. The relative pronoun who defines the particular man. It makes it very clear that it is the man standing on the left that is my brother. Let's go over to examples of relative pronouns. Examples of relative pronouns. 1. Whom. It relates to people. It functions as the object of a sentence. 2. Who. It is used to refer to people. It functions as the subject of a sentence. 3. Which. It relates to animals and objects. 4. Whose. It refers to possession. 5. That. It relates to people, animals and things. 6. Where. It refers to places. 7. When. It is used to refer to time. Let's go over to examples of relative pronouns in a sentence form. Sentences of relative pronouns. 1. The man who works at the post office is very kind. 2. This is the cake which Mary made. 3. I know the boy whom sits close to you. 4. The boy whose phone just rang should stand up. 5. This is the house where my son was born. 6. The pink gown that she is putting on belongs to her friend. 7. That was the day when my sister was born. Let's go over to assignment. Assignment. You can pause the video and write out these sentences on your notebook. Look at the sentences below and complete each one by choosing the correct relative pronoun in the bracket. One has been done for you. Introduction to reflexive pronouns. A reflexive pronoun is an object that reflects back to a subject. We use a reflexive pronoun when the object and the subject of a sentence are the same person. A mirror shows a reflection. A reflexive pronoun is like a mirror that shows back to the pronoun. Take the sentence. She took herself to the hospital. In the above example, she is the subject of the sentence. Took is the verb. But who did she take? The answer is herself. Let's move over to the examples of reflexive pronouns. Examples of reflexive pronouns. Here is a list of reflexive pronouns as well as their corresponding personal pronouns. Myself works with I. Yourself works with the singular form of you. Yourself works with the plural form of you. Himself works with the singular form of he. Herself works with the plural form of she. Itself works with the singular form of it. Themselves works with the plural form of them. Ourselves works with the plural form of our. You can pause the video to study the given examples. Let's move over to objective reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns are objects. One of the biggest markers for reflexive pronouns is their ending. They always end in self or selves. Reflexive pronoun always serves as the object of a sentence, always coming after the verb. Examples. 1. I taught myself to cook food. In the above sentence, I is the subject of the sentence. Taught is the verb of the sentence. And myself is the reflexive pronoun, referring back to the subject of the sentence I. Myself is also the object, answering the verb. Taught. 2. You know yourself better than anyone else. In this second example, you is the subject of the sentence. Yourself is the reflexive pronoun, referring back to the subject. You. Yourself is also the object of the sentence, answering the verb. Know. You can pause the video to study the given examples. Let's move over to assignment. Assignment. You can pause the video and write out these sentences on your notebook. Fill in the gaps with the pronouns ending in self or selves, reflexive pronouns. One has been done for you. In summary, we've been able to learn the following. 1. How to identify the different types of pronouns. 2. How to define and explain relative pronouns. 3. How to define and explain reflexive pronouns. I hope you enjoyed the class. See you in the next lesson. Thanks, and goodbye.